here with Alexandra and Colin Proctor from Made with Love Delectable Edibles. As always on Tuesdays, cooking up some delicious eats. What is today's menu item?
We are doing a red pepper ginger pork sweet and spicy stir fry.
Yum.
And so this is like a really, really basic recipe that you can do in about 10 minutes. And we've prepped up all our veg and that sort of thing. So Alex has sliced half an onion and she's slicing the other half, and she's added that to pan on about medium heat with about 2 tablespoons of oil. And I am adding 2 cloves of garlic that I've chopped.
Oh, that's gonna smell good.
Yeah, and this is
anything with garlic and onions smells good, right?
And you guys can see this onion I've sliced lengthwise. So instead of cutting it in half so it makes circles, I've cut it the other way, and it gives it a little bit more of a sort of Asian flair.
Okay, and it was a full onion, or was it?
Full red onion.
Okay, and it has to be red onion for this recipe?
Not at all.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Any onion you like. I think the red onion just looks really pretty in the finished
You're right,
product.
it does. Brings all the colors. So what else do you have for this? Obviously ginger.
Yeah, about 2 inches of ginger. And if Marcel wants to get a look at this, I didn't peel it, but I have sort of gone on the outside and cut off any pieces that don't look like I want to eat them. And then sliced it really fine. And now I'm just gonna really kind of chop it up here.
So you don't have to peel the skin off first?
You don't have to, no.
Okay.
And again, you do want to take off any pieces that look like, I don't want to eat that little bit.
Right.
And how fine you go with the ginger is really up to you. If you don't mind having nice bites of ginger, leave it coarser. And if you like to have it really just as part of the flavor, but not part of the texture.
Now, do you recommend chopping it instead of grating it, or does it really matter?
I think it's personal preference.
Okay.
I like having little bites of ginger.
Yeah,
I think
do
that's
too.
really tasty. But again, if you don't want to bite down on a piece of ginger, grate it or chop it really finely.
Okay.
I
Excellent.
personally like the chopping option. I find ginger is one of those things I personally hate cleaning out of graters. And
I know.
And it's just one of those
totally
things
agree
that's
with
really
you.
annoying.
Absolutely.
And, so yeah, I would go with the chopping personally. So I've added one of these packages of sliced pork, which we got at Save On right now.
So you don't even have to slice
So
it
you
up
don't
yourself.
have to do anything with this recipe, and that's sort of what we're going for. You can pick up one of these packages of stir-fry meat and very quickly have a dinner without even getting your hands dirty. Which is kind of
Excellent.
nice.
It's all about putting the garlic and the onions and the ginger in first, though, right? Okay, so don't recommend putting the pork in first?
You can actually, the first part of the recipe, you want to get your oil, your ginger, your garlic, your onions, and your pork all in sort of together.
Okay.
And give them a few minutes just to start to caramelize and brown before you move forward with it.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this smells so good already. I wish people out there could smell this. We don't have smell-o-vision, but which spice are you going to use for this? I know that we won't get to that just yet, but
the red pepper spice blend is what we'll use for today's recipe.
Okay.
Now you could mix this recipe up and do it with one of the other ones, but this will give you a sweet and spicy flavor, which is kind of like a Thai chili sauce. So not too hot, but sort of a medium spice, really nice and sweet. We had it for dinner last night, and all the kids loved it. So it's not
so
too
it's
crazy.
kid-friendly.
It's kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Although your kids, they have, I think, a different level of taste buds than most kids because you cook such delicious stuff, but...
Well, we test a lot of food on the kids.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So yeah, you know when you get a decent response.
Exactly.
There's got to be at least something positive about your recipe.
How long does this take?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes to make the whole thing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. And I guess you could make as much as you want. Now, you just used one package of pork, but if you were having a bunch of people over...
Totally. You just basically, these packages of pork are about 1 pound each.
Okay.
So basically, you can double the recipe per pound of pork and go from that. And it's really straightforward if you follow that as sort of a rule of thumb.
So I'm just opening a new red pepper here. And what you guys will notice is on the tops of our bottles is beeswax. That makes a safety seal that's totally natural, doesn't create any Doesn't have any plastic garbage.
Okay.
So if you're wondering, what is that on top of the lid? It's beeswax.
So do you have to peel it off?
You don't really.
It kind of comes off over time, I'm sure, right?
Crumbles, actually.
I always make sure when I open a new bottle, I just kind of rub around like that to make sure there's not any crumbles. Beeswax is totally edible, so not an issue.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm going to give it a little poke because this guy is very,
finicky.
very
You're
full.
well packed.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. All of our bottles, you'll use them 2 or 3 times, and you'll go, oh my God, my bottle's still full.
Yeah.
How did it get full again? And that's because instead of doing the half full cereal bag, we've got the massively well packed in there. We also use no silicon dioxide or anti-caking agents. So if you need, just get in there with like, you know, wooden spoon handle like I'm doing or a chopstick.
Yep.
And you know you have nothing artificial in there.
Okay. All right, we're back in the kitchen, and Colin is coming back. He just ran to see if we could get a fork. We couldn't find a fork. Here he is. Here, come on in. We'll put this back on you. Awesome. All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so this is looking delicious.
Exactly.
What have you done since we left you?
So we added the broccoli.
Okay.
That was the last step. So about 8 to 10 cups or 8 to 10 handfuls of broccoli florets. And then I've just put in a couple tablespoons of butter. And when you add the butter as a finishing step, you get a really nice freshness from it that's just lovely. And again, if you want to do it low fat or fat free, you can leave that out, but it just makes it wonderful.
Exactly. You know, when you were putting the red pepper spice in earlier, I didn't ask you, how much do you put in?
Oh,
2
2 tablespoons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much the measurement for every recipe that you guys have?
We try and really focus that as like a rule of thumb for Made with Love, is that it's going to be 2 tablespoons to the recipe. And that's sort of a balance that really works for us. So unless otherwise, it's always a good rule of thumb for any of our recipes. If you can't remember the measurements for the spices,
It's always
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. That is super good to know. So what would you say the flavors are in this? Like, is it a tangy flavor, or
It does.
how do you
The
describe
ginger
it?
really gives it a nice tang. I'll put some in a bowl here, and
Yeah.
you can have a little,
Yes.
sneak a little peek.
When you taste this, it'll be kind of like you'll get an opening flavor, a bit of garlic, and then you'll get the sweetness.
Right.
And then you'll get the ginger and the spice
I'm gonna try
as
it.
the follow through.
Okay. We couldn't find a fork, but we found a spoon. That's good. I can really taste the sweetness.
Yeah.
Oh, and that the tangy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. That is delicious. And that took 10 minutes to make. These are the kind of dinners that I need to make.
Well,
Because I get home later in the evening from work, so I need to I have a bunch of your spices, and they are fantastic. So, you know, if anyone wants to go and get your spices, you can buy them at Cooper's, Save On, right?
That's
exactly.
And online at madewithlove.ca.
And if you'd like to taste this recipe, we'll be at Cooper's in Westside today between 3:30 and 5:30.
Fabulous. There you go. And you must go because it's delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's great.